Guys, we could possibly be witnessing Russell Westbrook never playing on an NBA team again. I was scrolling on my phone and I found a list of free agents heading into the 2025-26 season, and probably the most notable name. A lot of people only remember Westbrook in recent memory from his Wizards, Rockets, Lakers, Clippers, and most recent season, Nuggets. He gets ridiculed pretty frequently, and he's sometimes called out of his name. The most known is probably Westbrook, for example, because of his terrible shooting splits. But he's known as a guy who does not make the smartest decisions in the world, and quite frankly, besides the name calling, there is some validity to these harsh criticisms. But I remember a time, even with all the harsh criticism, back in his OKC days, he was an elite point guard. And I'm not saying he's not elite now, can't provide some minutes and good play on a court. But what I am saying is he was top 3 point guard conversations when he was in his prime. He was an NBA MVP. He was a legit second option to Kevin Durant, making conference finals and even the NBA finals. He was known as Mr. Triple-Double, averaging a triple-double for 4 consecutive NBA seasons. And Russell Westbrook's career is one that many NBA players wish they had and most players would strive to have. He's a top 75 player for a reason. And the only thing Russell Westbrook does not have on his resume is a championship ring. He has shown us years after years he can't be that number one option on a championship team, but he has shown flashes of being the second option on a championship team in his prime. But even with that, it hasn't translated to winning. Now, on the tail end of his career, he has been accepting different roles and sacrificing in order to win. But even with that as well, it hasn't translated to winning. So you see, Russ has not seen the conference finals since 2015-16 season when he was playing with Kevin Durant. And with him reaching the age of 36, about to be 37 in November, him being on an NBA roster is simply looking pretty bleak right now. The Kings look like his only option now on making a roster, but I believe his career is coming to a close, and I think he's not going to add that championship to his resume like most Russ fans were hoping for. Russ right now is at a point where he is needed to become a specialist. Teams aren't asking him now to be the first, second, or even the third option on an NBA team, but they want him to come off the bench and be almost like an energizer bunny and provide positives on the little things that matter on an NBA court. Whether that be rebounding, defense, cutting, basically anything that can affect the basketball game, and that goes almost unnoticed sometimes. And while he has become better at that over the years, especially last season, I believe teams are still not willing to take that chance on him because of his glaring problems on the court. One thing Russ has never been good at is his decision making. Never been good at that. Time after time, season after season, he has been fairly criticized because of his terrible decision making on the court. He's always giving and shows 110% effort on the basketball court, but he has never been a level-headed point guard that can make good decisions in pivotal moments. That is probably the biggest detriment to his career and to his game. And again, him reaching almost the age of 37, potentially heading into his 18th season, teams are hesitant to put him on the roster because of those reasons that I just mentioned. More so, Russell Westbrook has never been able to shoot the basketball at a high clip. He has always been a poor shooter, just in general. He's never been a good three-point shooter. He's never been an overall good shooter. And in his early years, he used to be a pretty decent free throw shooter, was shooting sometimes 84%, and then it just one day just went down. I don't remember particularly what year it was, but I know it was later in his career where the free throw shooting just went down as well. That part of his game has never been good in the 17 years that he's played in the NBA so far. His athleticism has always been his biggest attribute to his game, and to a certain level it is still now, but due to the age though, he's nowhere near as explosive as he was in his prime years, which is completely understandable. But athleticism, once being his biggest strength to his game, has now significantly waned. I was really confused completely about him not wanting to resign with the Nuggets. And despite all of his natural flaws, I thought he was honestly great with that team. He figured out how to gel well with Jokic when he got on the floor with him. And he also led the second unit of that team pretty well. And he was in Six Man of the Year combos. You naturally get a few ill advised plays from Russ, but all in all, I thought he was a huge positive to the team. That Nuggets team took the Thunder, who are now NBA champions, and they took that team to Game 7 in the second round of the Western Conference. And I don't believe that team makes that a competitive series without Russell Westbrook helping them. So again, him leaving really did not make any sense. And now he's in a position where he's not on an NBA roster. And I believe he wanted probably more than just the vet minimum contract. And I know he wanted to be in California as well. But it's not looking like that plan is really going to work out. So teams are just prioritizing youth. We see the OKC Thunder become the second youngest team in NBA history to win a championship. And one thing I've learned just watching the league is that it's full of copycats. Teams are looking to follow the model of OKC, which is building a young core with a lot of camaraderie. And I think teams are looking at that method that's happening, and it's going to ultimately just win you a championship. So the premium for young players is much higher, and the big contracts for teams in the NBA are going more towards the younger superstars in our league. And with that being said, having cap space is also important for a team, which is why there are still good players floating around right now as free agents. And with Russell Westbrook, there's no development with him. He's not really going to get any better, and is who he's going to stay as a player, which is why I think Russ hasn't been signed to an NBA team quite yet, because they prioritize development and youth. And I think it is possible we see Russ come back for an 18th season, especially with the rumors about the Kings. But will that really do anything for his career? Russ is a top 75 player, an NBA MVP, a 9-time All Star. All of these accolades he has. And we look at Russell Westbrook as, even with all the flaws he has, we look at Russell Westbrook as a top 50 player of all time. And I don't think there's a debate with that. And we look at him as one of the best point guards of all time. Top 10, if not top 15. I look at him as top 10. Top 15 is kind of a stretch, but I might be able to understand why you put him top 15. But regardless, we look at him as one of the greatest point guards of all time. So the only thing that would possibly change his resume right now is him getting a championship. But how much is that really going to change his resume? And how much is that really going to change his career? So the only thing, again, he doesn't have in his Hall of Fame resume is a championship. So even if he does play on the Kings, they really don't have a chance to win anything. And it really doesn't do anything for his career. So we have seen greatness from Russ for over a decade. And due to the circumstances of what Russ is facing right now, I think it's pretty fair to say that Russ's career is over. Y'all let me know if y'all like the video. Leave a like, subscribe, and until next time, guys, I'll see y'all later. Peace.